Welcome to the regularly scheduled school board meeting of October 15th, 2013. Member Murneke, please call roll.
Member Cameron.
Here.
Hold on a second there, sir.
Here. Member Casper. I'm here. Member Sligapunko. Member Wasson.
Here.
Member Westholm. Here. Superintendent Gronseth.
Here.
Deputy Clerk Hansen. Here. Secretary Thibault.
Here.
Caitlin Perch.
Here.
And Eric Thibault. Here. We have a quorum.
Thank you, Member Murneke. Thank you. If folks would please stand and join us in Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Again, I'd like to welcome everybody to our school board meeting. Looks like we have lots of folks out today and have a group that we're going to be recognizing in just a few minutes as well. So could I get a motion to approve tonight's agenda? Made by Member Wasson. A second? Seconded by Member Westholm. Any discussion? Seeing none, let's move to a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That carries 7-0, or 6-0, excuse me. Let's move then to the reading and approval of the minutes. Could I get a motion to accept the regularly scheduled school board meeting of September 24th, 2013?
So moved.
Made by Member Westholm. A second?
Second.
By Member Wasson. Any discussion? Seeing none, let's move to a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That carries 6-0. Moving on to our minutes from the special school board meeting of our executive closed session scheduled October 7th, 2013. Could I get a motion to accept?
So moved.
Made by Member Westholm. A second? By Member Wasson. Any discussion? Seeing none, let's move to a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That carries 6-0. Thank you, board members. Moving on now to school and community recognition. Assistant Superintendent Crawford, you're going to lead us in that, I believe. Okay.
Should we go down or wait?
Yeah, excuse me. Are we on there? We are not working here. Oh, no, still not working. We're having a little trouble with our PA system here.
It's selecting.
Is your light on?
Turning it on.
There you go.
Oh. It's the weather. No, last month it was the weather. Oh, it's okay.
Don't worry about it.
Would it help if he turned off his mic?
All right, board members, please join me in front of the seating area for our special recognition.
Members of the board, this month staff, parents, parent leaders, and community members came together in an innovative, first-of-its-kind event to help support student success at Piedmont Elementary. I'm pleased to present several people who were directly involved in the planning and implementation of Set Your Student Up for Success Night. Becky Gerdes, Principal. Tim Doyle, Piedmont PTA President. Deb Montgomery, Community Liaison, Jenna Gust, Key Zone, Greg Jackson, Building Engineer, Jean Engelbretson, WITC, Cosmetology Instructor, Faye Shunk, Monitor and Office Assistant, and Justin Schumack. The evening was created to work towards proactively raising the academic and behavioral standards for students in the Piedmont and Lincoln Park communities. It also focused on the many community organizations available to provide for good health, positive well-being, and increased academic success. Many community groups and organizations pitched in. Little MGs provided a taco bar for attendees. Stylists were on hand offering free haircuts. Local pediatricians and dentists were involved in educating in unhealthy living, and every Piedmont teacher committed to attend this event to increase communication and build relationships with families and community members. Organizations included St. Luke's Pediatric Associates, Summit Dental, HDC, Boys and Girls Club, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, Kids Closet, Key Zones, ISD 709 Integration Specialist, All Pro Dads, Girl Powers, Duluth Area Youth Basketball, Daha Piedmont Hockey, Duluth Public Library, Duluth Fire, Duluth Police, Viewcrest Senior Home, Rotarians, Salvation Army, ISD 709, Infinite Campus, and ISD 709 Child Nutrition, among others. Congratulations on a very successful event.
Members in the audience, if you're unfamiliar with what we're doing in that area, it's an opportunity for the board to recognize members of the community that are doing things to further our students or help our students. It's also an opportunity for us to recognize staff, either teachers or other members of our staff that are doing positive things in our schools and in our communities to impact our students and their lives. So it's a very important thing that these folks have done and other folks that we've recognized over the last year. Some of us, as we step off of the board here in a few months, I know in my time on the board, this will be one of those things that I reflect back on with great joy that we've added to our agenda, is that opportunity to recognize the positive things that our staff and our community is doing to better our students and better their opportunity for success. So again, thanks to the Piedmont parents and members who organized a wonderfully successful event, and my hope is that they, as time goes on, share what they've learned and what they've done with our other schools and make that part of an opportunity at all of our public schools. So again, thank you very much for your efforts. It's very appreciated. All right, board members, we are now moving on to our audience participation. Reminding folks, if they'd like to address the board, they can approach the front here and sign up. You are allowed 3 minutes to speak to the board. Member Murneke is our official timekeeper, and he'll, when you start speaking, he'll turn a light on, and as it, in front of him here, as it starts to go to red or yellow and then to red, we'll ask you to wrap up. We do give you a little bit of leniency. If you're finishing a comment or a thought, we will give you a little bit of additional time if necessary. Reminding you to keep your comments civil and constructive and to a subject that is the school board and the school district are dealing with. So our first speaker this evening is Lauren Martell, followed by Marcia Stromgren. Welcome, Lauren.
Thank you, Chair Casper. I'd just like to make sure the citizens of Duluth understand the situation here. No matter how they vote on the referendums in November, they are going to see another big tax hike in December. In order to calculate the full tax hike that's coming, you have to add November and December. If you vote to approve the first levy referendum, your full tax increase from the district, including the tax certification levy, will be 6%, or as a community, we will pay $1.7 million more to the district. If you approve both referendums, everything doubles. Your school district tax burden, adding in the tax certification levy, which will be coming in December, will jump 12% or about $3.4 million. If neither referendum question is approved, the property taxpayers of Duluth will still pay $1.9 million a year to the district because the board is enforcing a $212 levy either way. There is a misconception out there that the $212 levy is being forced by the state. That is not true. It was just an option that was offered. The board had until August 24th to decide whether or not to use it. They chose to use it. Also, the $1.1 million of state matching money could have been used for property tax relief. The people of this town could have gone to the polls and voted for a $1.1 million tax decrease, and the same amount currently coming in under the existing levy would have remained the same. Finally, who knows how much of this money will actually go into the classroom? The district has run up a $20 million annual debt. Over the past 3 years, $21.3 million has been drawn from the general fund to pay for the RED plan. We've lost 2,400 students since Dixon walked into this town, and Moody's just gave all the district securities a negative outlook. Handing money to this board and expecting it to go into the classroom is like handing an alcoholic a coupon good for booze or food and just trusting he'll use it to buy food. If you're kind-hearted enough to trust this board with more money, you'd better not go to sleep after, because the money is not very likely to be spent the way you want it spent. Thank you.
Thank you, Lauren. Our next speaker is Marcia Stromgren. And Member Johnson, have we had any additional folks sign up? Okay, thank you. Welcome, Marcia.
Thank you, Chairman Casper, board members. Sometimes constructive criticism is necessary. First of all, I do want to thank Eric Thibault for the last school board meeting to speak out against the bullying that goes on right here at the board. One member of this board speaks out and everybody's got a problem, rolling their eyes, talking when they should be listening, and nothing's done about it. But Eric, I want to thank you for being man enough to say something. I think you will be a fine leader one day, and I appreciate what you said. Bullying must be really comforting to the family that just lost a 15-year-old from East that had been bullied since 6th grade, slapped up against the lockers, taken to the hospital by the school district with a concussion. In his last statements, he names this child that did the bullying, and the police department have the audacity to call the family and say, well, gee, couldn't you just please not say that it was bullying, because, gee, it would be harmful to the school district and the community? Well, you know what, folks? It's time we poured a little hydrogen peroxide on the wound and opened it up so it stops festering and starts healing. He's not the only student that's been bullied. And I met a new lady this weekend who took her kids out of the district, all 3 of them. Now they're in Marshall School, 2 in Edison. They have a zero policy of bullying. What are you going to do about this issue? This young man is dead. Who's next? It's time you cleaned up your act and did something about it. You should be ashamed that you have not done anything. I wouldn't want to be a board member and have that on my record. Omnibus Pension Bill Conference Committee Report, Americans for Prosperity. This was a vote on the final passage of the Omnibus Pension Bill Conference Committee Report that has a $26 million bailout for fiscal year 14 and 15, the failing Duluth and St. Paul teachers' pension and increases the benefit for retired teachers. I talked to somebody 2 weeks ago Sunday. State legislature is going to start defunding this, period. We're not going to keep bailing you out. How are we going to pay for this? Sure, you can raise the taxes, but I'm doing just like I said. I am out there trying to defeat it for my children who are grown and are paying the taxes. They're my kids, only they're grown up, and now they're paying the bills. Thank you.
Thank you, Marcia. We do have one more speaker signed up, reminding folks again that if they would like to address the board, they can do so by signing up at the front here. Our next speaker is Annie Harla. Welcome, Annie.
Well, good evening. I just wanted to take a moment to say that I attended the Lincoln Park Walk to School Day last week on International Walk to School Day, and I just wanted to commend very highly just all the community involvement that happened. And I would just put a recommendation forward to just thank Lincoln Park Middle School and their staff and teachers and St. Louis County and the Metropolitan Interstate Council for putting together such a phenomenal event. It was great to see all students be able to get to walk to school together, to get to work together, and then they ended up meeting at the top of the hill and getting a picture taken as a community. I know there's been many years, there's lots of tough things that are happening in our district, but to be a part of something that's that positive and something that's really bringing that school together, just really encourage that continue happening. So thank you for making sure that you have such a strong leader at that school that's doing those efforts. I know there are additional efforts happening throughout the rest of the city. So thank you.
Thank you, Annie. Member Johnson, have we had anybody else? Okay. All right, board members, we are now moving on to our superintendent's report. Welcome, Superintendent Gronseth.
Thank you, and good evening. You know, I'm proud to be a part of this district, and I'm honored to serve our community as superintendent. I greatly enjoy working for improvement in our district and our community. And I can tell you that sometimes it's a very difficult job. The death of a young person is never easy. And it's even more difficult when they take their own life. And it can be difficult to understand, and there are often many more variables involved than we ever know. Especially in these cases, it takes the help of a lot of people to respond. And I want to thank the Duluth Police Department, the faculty of East High School, members of the community who help support the family and the staff and the students through this very difficult time. As difficult as this job can be, there are also a lot of positives. And we did hear about some of those tonight. We know that our schools benefit from community support, and we enjoy a lot of that. This month at Piedmont Elementary held an incredible event called Setting Our Schools Up for Students Up for Success, which you heard about at the beginning of the meeting. And it's an excellent example of how the community is coming together to support student achievement, to improve our schools in all kinds of ways. And many thanks to all the people that it took to create that event and implement this partnership moving forward. And it was really a celebration of all the services that are available in the Piedmont-Lincoln area. And I think that's exactly the kind of event that we need to see across our district, the community coming together in support of our students and their success. And Ms. Harla also talked about the National Walk to School Day. There was events held at Congdon, East High School, and Lincoln Park Middle School. I also walked to school with the Lincoln students. It was a fun event, and the staff and students seemed to enjoy the walk. It was a beautiful day. Students all received T-shirts that were donated and made especially for the event. There's a lot of community support, and we'd love to see that and want to see more of that. So going forward, I once again encourage people to visit our website at www.isd709.org to learn exactly what the levy is about, what the first question means, what the first question, or the second question means, what that money would go for if it were in place, and also what it means if they're not in place. And I ask people to educate themselves on the facts before they go to the voting booth. And that's it. Thanks.
Thank you, Superintendent, and I want to, and we've talked about this, but I want to personally thank you for your efforts to guide this district into the next chapter of its life, and I so appreciate your concern for all of our students and all of our families, so thank you. Board members, we are now moving on to reports of standing committees. First up is our Education Committee. Member Cameron.
This is the Education Committee report for Tuesday, October 15th. Under 1A, informational presentations, Tanya Leek, who is Director of Assessment, Evaluation, and Performance, shared the state district and school results for the 2013 MMR, which is the Multiple Measurement Systems, which was recently released by the Minnesota Department of Education, which included in this release were schools, MMR, focus ratings, and adequate yearly progress results. B, grant applications, Northland Foundation grant. Victoria Sundale has applied for a grant from the National Foundation in the amount of $800. If awarded, funds will be used for providing child sibling care, transportation, and supplies for ECFE Parent Support Group. It's recommended that we receive this as informational. And action items, presentation items, there are none. There's a resolution E10-13-31-36, acceptance of grants award for Duluth Public Schools. Would you like for me to take that now?
Sure.
Okay. That's on page 23 in your packet. Resolution of grants awards to Duluth Public Schools, whereas Minnesota Statute 465.03 requires the school district to accept grants by resolution expressed in terms prescribed by the donor in full, and whereas acceptance of the grant in accordance with the donor's terms is in the best interest of the Duluth Public Schools, now therefore be it resolved that the Duluth Public Schools does accept the below described grants from said organization in accordance with the terms set forth herein. Be it further resolved that the Duluth Public Schools wishes to extend its grateful appreciation to these various organizations: Minnesota State Colleges and University, U.S. Department of Education, Jim Arndt, project title Carl D. Perkins Career and Technical Education Allocation, and this is for $466,896.77, $154,638.56 for secondary school, and $312,258.21 for post-secondary schools. And funds from the award will be used to support career and technical programs and courses. I move resolution E10-13-31-36 dated October 15, 2013.
Could I get a second? Seconded by Member Wasson. Any discussion? Seeing none, let's move to a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That carries 6-0. Back to you, Member Cameron.
Under C, extended trip requests, public schools, FCCLA Hero students will be traveling to the Boulevard Hotel in Brooklyn Park, Minnesota for the Fall Delegate Assembly on November 10th through the 11th, where the election of new state officers will take place along with related breakout sections. It's recommended the school board accept and approve the above extended field request. And D, access to internet student data, non-district employees is requested that the following organizations be granted access to the student information system to support district functions from July 1, 2013 to June 30, 2014. And that's Capella University, Promise Fellow, Girl Scouts of America, and University of Minnesota Twin Cities. It's recommended the Duluth School Board accept and approve the above access to internet student data for non-district employees. And there is one person who should be commended for their graduation, meeting their graduation requirements, and that's Morgan A. Mitchell. And it's recommended the Duluth School Board accept and approve the diploma, and I move the remaining Education Committee report.
Could I get a second? Seconded by Member Wasson. Any board members, any items on the Education Committee report that you'd like to pull out for discussion? Member Johnson.
1A1.
1A1. Anything else? No? Any other board members? All right, back to you, Member Johnson.
Just this is the school results on the MMR and the FR. Just want to say a couple of things about it. First, we have very good results on Laura MacArthur, and that's went amazingly good results. Everybody's talked about that a lot. Again, want to commend our school, the principal in particular, as well as all the other staff that has been helping that out. For that great accomplishment, just for the people, we went from an MMR from 3.5 up to 64.9, which is quite an amazing jump, and it's very, very commendable. And our focus rating went from 7 up to 96, almost the highest in the school district. So those are really, really amazing things, which I want to commend everybody for. Superintendent on down to the principal, on down to the staff, and the students, of course, and the parents that are helping. There's a couple things I do want to point out that aren't quite so good, and one maybe Ms. Lake you could answer. I didn't notice this on the committee report, but Stoll, the focus rating dropped significantly. I was hoping that was a typo, but is that number correct?
There you go. Hold on now, we've changed microphones. All right, there we go.
Set?
Now we're set.
Okay. The numbers that are in the Education Committee report are accurate.
Thank you. Back to you, Member Johnson.
Okay, that's take a look at that. I don't know what happened there, but that's not as good as some of our other ones. In general, I just want to point out again, too, we had the MCA, I think, last month, and the MMR and the FR. I'm concerned again because of our Western schools are not doing good as a rule, even though we've seen some significant improvements, which is really, really commendable, but we have to do better. From Piedmont, Lincoln Park, Stoll, and Denfeld, they're all at the bottom. And we really have to, again, don't have any answer here at all, but again, it's a discussion we have to have along with the achievement gap. We also have an east-west gap here, and I hope that we can keep working on that. And I know everybody is, and I commend everybody for that, but I'd certainly like to, again, push that emphasis on this because it concerns us out west here. We don't want that to happen.
Superintendent?
I just wanted to kind of highlight the majority of our schools saw an increase. There were a few bumps in the road, as you pointed out, but I really want to talk about Laura MacArthur. The results that they've achieved are incredible, and I think that they are a prime example of how resources, when used wisely, and very planfully, can make a huge difference. As we all know, MacArthur received a sizable grant from the state and able to really make sure that the students have the support that they need, that teachers have the tools they need, and that the services are provided. And I think that this is a great reason to support moving our district forward. If these are the kind of results that we can get with proper resources in place, I think that we have a lot of promise in other places if we have the resources in place.
Thank you, Superintendent. Anything further, Member Johnson? All right. I want to acknowledge you recognizing some of our staff and their efforts at Laura MacArthur as well as other schools. And I too want to acknowledge our staff and their efforts. The numbers that we saw, for the most part, from the report that Ms. Lake produced for us, are very positive, and it's an opportunity. We're seeing growth, and we're seeing our students moving in the right direction. Some of them faster than others, as we've noted with Laura MacArthur. But certainly most of our other schools are also moving forward and making great strides. So it's all very nice to see from a board member's perspective anyway. So again, thank you, and thank you, Ms. Lake, for your efforts on putting this together and presenting it to us last week in an easy to understand fashion for those of us that don't quite understand MMR and focus rating and all how those things are all made up. So again, thank you. All right, board members, yep, superintendent is back up.
I really just want to give credit where credit is due. As a doctoral candidate, I understand the amount of work that it got to get that title, so it's Dr. Lake.
I'm sorry. Congratulations. Sorry about that. Thank you. Thank you for that correction. I don't mind being corrected when I'm wrong. All right. Member Murneke.
Thank you again, Dr. Lake, for all you. I think it's important to point out, we talked about this on Tuesday, and especially for the media, that we were not talking about percentages. And when some people see a score of 17, they think, well, 17 percentile, that's awful. But these are just raw scores. There was some confusion out some of the people I talked about. They thought we were talking about percentiles, and it wasn't that. It wasn't a comparison to the state percentile.
Thank you for that clarification, Member Murneke. Moving on, board members, we have a motion and a second before us regarding the Education Committee report. Seeing no further discussion, could we move to a vote? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? That carries 6-0. We are on to our Human Resources Committee report. Member Westholm.
Okay, the Human Resources Committee report for October 15th. We have staffing report action items, and I'll go through those. There are 3 certified appointments. There are 250 certified co-curricular appointments, 2 certified leaves, 2 certified long-term substitutes, 1 certified permanent increase, 1 certified recall from layoff, 2 certified retirements, 2 certified temporary decreases, 13 certified temporary increases, 10 non-certified appointments, 4 non-certified demotions, 1 non-certified deceased, 4 non-certified leaves, 1 non-certified permanent increases, 5 non-certified promotions, 3 non-certified recalls, 3 non-certified resignations, 1 non-certified retirement, and 10 non-certified temporary increases. And that is the staffing report for the Human Resources Committee for this month. There are no other HR action items at this time. There are no informational items at this time, and there are no HR future items at this time. And so I move the HR Human Resources Committee report for October 15th.
Thank you, Member Westholm. Could I get a second? Seconded by Member Wasson. Any discussion? Superintendent.
I just wanted to mention, I'm sure you heard the 250 co-curricular, and I'm so impressed with the number of staff members and community members who step forward and lead these awesome opportunities for our kids, whether it's coaching football or soccer or tennis or reading corps folks or all of the opportunities that it allows our students, and just wanted to recognize that.
Thank you, Superintendent. Seeing no further lights, let's move to a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? That carries 6-0. Member Wasson, you are going to be handling the Business Committee report in Member Sligopunko's absence.
This is the Business Committee report for Tuesday, October 15th. Number 1 is the regular financial report. Item 2, there are no bids, RFPs, or quotes. 3, policy and regulations, there are none. Item 4 are contract change orders and leases. There's a contract for Marlis Johnson, mental health consultant. And board members, you received prior to the meeting changes on item 2 and 3. The numbers, the information that was handed out is correct. The numbers were just inverted in different places. So those 2 items are fixed on the handout. The next item is change orders. For Congdon Park Elementary School, and there are no leases. We have 1 resolution.
Do you want to handle that right now?
We can. Page 57, board members, if you're interested. It's the authorized student activity bank account signer, Merritt Creek, Woodland Hills, East High School, and Head Start. I move B10, 13, 31, 38, October 15th, 2013.
Could I get a second?
Second.
Seconded by Member Westholm. Any discussion? Seeing none, let's move to a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That carries 6-0. Back to you, Member Wasson.
And the remainder of the report are informational items, expenditure contracts, revenue contracts. There are none. Other contracts. That's about it. Future items is the financial audit that will be coming up very shortly. I move the Business Committee report.
Could I get a second?
Second.
Seconded by Member Westholm. Board members, any items you'd like to pull out for discussion? Member Johnston.
1F.
Okay.
I'd like to have a vote on 1G and H. And a vote on 4A in its entirety. And the
4B.
4B.
All right. Anything else, board members? All right. We're back to Member Johnson with 1F.
Sure, that's a Wadham report. Just wanted to point out again that we had a slight increase from last fall, but when we compare it to a year ago, we've had 175 reduction from a year ago. And again, I've been pointing out again, the student enrollment continues to drop. And I just looked up on the long-range facility plan on the review and comment. This is 700 below the projected student reduction that was in that document. And also that document indicated that the low enrollment was supposed to have bottomed out in 2012, and it hasn't bottomed out yet. Again, that concerns me a lot since the trend seems to be still going down.
Thank you, Member Johnson. Member Cameron.
I just want to point out that we were told a number of years ago when we started this long-range facilities plan that we would continue to see a decline in enrollment. I just want to say that that decline is also negatively impacting the University of Minnesota Duluth. We have a really bad enrollment problem, and it has a lot to do with the decline in enrollment and the number of students who are graduating from high school.
Thank you.
I believe our chancellor had a conversation with you. Yeah.
Thank you for your wisdom on that. Member Cameron. Moving on. Oh, I'm sorry. Member Wasson. Sorry about that.
No problem. And I would just like to say, too, I think it has something to do with the economy. Probably more than we're aware of and wasn't foreseen back in the 2007.
All right. Thank you, Member Wasson. Member Johnson, you would like a separate vote on G. Why don't we just handle each of these separately, if that's okay with you? Oh, you have further comments? I'm sorry. All right.
Sure, just a real quick comment. There's lots of reasons why it could be done. The fact of the matter is, why it could be down. The fact of the matter is it is down, and we should be adjusting ourselves accordingly and dealing with the reality on that.
All right, thank you. On to 1G, board members, for a separate vote for fundraisers on page 22. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? That carries 6-0. Moving on to investments in school children on page 23. Separate vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Which one was that?
Investments in school.
Okay.
G&H.
G&H.
Yeah. And then on to item 4 in its entirety. 4A, just the mental health aspect of that. Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? That carries 6-0. Member Johnson, we are now on to change orders, and you're up.
Sure, just wanted to say here again, like I always do, the change orders luckily are down. Hopefully they're going to be down as construction is done. And we're down to 38,000. That's certainly better than it was a couple months ago when it was 380,000. And it's good to see them down, although to me, $38,000 is still too high, and we should not be accepting change orders like this.
All right, thank you, Member Johnson. All right, we have nothing further.
I just wanted to,
Oh, I'm sorry, Superintendent.
I just wanted to point out that it's not 38,000. It's about 5,000, 6,000.
6,138. Okay, back to you, Member Johnson.
Sure. By that, I was including the items on 6 as well, the 6F. Add all those together, we have $38,309 in change orders.
Okay. Thank you for your clarification, Superintendent, and also your clarification with the numbers you were referring to, Member Johnson. Seeing no further discussion or lights on regarding the Business Committee report, let's move to a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed signify by saying yay. That carries 5-1. Board members, we are now on to, I have to find my agenda if you hold on a second, please.
You ripped it out.
I tore it out. Yes, we do not have any special resolutions at this time. Do we have anything, questions or other from any members?
Melinda,
Seeing none?
Whoa.
Member Murneke, clarification.
Ms. Tebow, we have calling a primary election. Was that a? Sorry, I forgot. Delete it. Yeah, I figured that.
Thank you for your observation.
Well, I wanted to double check.
All right, board members, with seeing no further questions or other, we are adjourned. Enjoy your evening. Thank you.